TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
Welcome, America, to Amendment1Radio.com, where your First Amendment rights are still safe to say what's on your mind. Hey, welcome, folks. We're back here with another Amendment1Radio.com with me, your local host, Voice of America. So, yeah, we've been seeing a bunch of crazy stuff going on in the news and all kinds of political aspects of everything. So it's kind of like, okay, folks, what do you want to sit there and find out about now? So for anybody out there that just wants to go out there and throw caution to the wind, hey, I tell you what, let's go for that. Shoot, give me a call here, 727-493-2055. Let's see what's on your mind. I mean, heck, folks, it's America. We still have freedom of speech for a little while. So a couple things I want to touch on is the fact that here in Tampa, we've got a local battle of the DJs in a lawsuit of sitting there and calling each other names, and one person gets their feelings hurt, and it's not a good thing. Well, it's pretty sad that you're going to sit there and you're actually going to try and sue somebody over the fact you got your feelings hurt on your First Amendment rights. And that really, really goes to set the stage of a whole new ball game here. If this guy goes in there and actually gets this, then it's going to put a damper on every kind of media. I mean, we're talking about everything from talk shows to media to everything you can think of, that if you sit there and call somebody a name, then it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and, oh my God, I'm going to sue you. And, and this is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen in my life. I really cannot even believe that this lawsuit has even made it to trial. And, and that's what totally blows my mind, is the fact that, it's just ridiculous. So, and it's just, people need to sit there and see that the situation here is this. We have to make a stance. We have to start making something happen. I mean, how is it that you sit there and you get a district attorney to come testify against another person for something that's a mediocre suit that, should not even have went to trial? I don't get it. Not to mention the fact that when you yourself have sit there and had problems and call other people names, you make fun of them and stuff like that, but yet one person gets offended, the other thing's doing parodies and having fun with it, but yet when the shoe's on the other foot, you get offended and it's like, oh no, I got to sit there and I got to sue. No, I'm sorry, folks. I mean, this is going to go down to the fact of like TMZ or somebody like that. If they sit there and say, well, this is ridiculous because you called me a bad name, so we're going to sue you. And it's not, it's not a good thing to do over at all. So, and this is where I say, what we have to do here nowadays is you really need to take a hard look at our government. And I'm talking about a real hard look from bottom up. This goes from your local mayors. This goes from your local city personnel. And it's just like unbelievable. You really got to see and know what exactly is going on. Because, I mean, it's just to a point now to where Americans can't do this no more. What we're going to have to do is go in there and make a stand. And let me tell you how easy it is. Run for your local office, whether it's city treasurer, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the sheriff, police officer, police chief, the whole 9 yards. And it's just, this is, the kind of stuff that we need to make a stand with. We also need to sit there and start making a stand of and looking at something. All right, as far as our government. I sit there and seen it so many times that when you sit there and ask somebody, well, whose fault do you really think all this mess is about? Well, it's the Democrats. It's the Republicans. Well, them damn liberals, they don't know what they're doing. They're making the Democrats into liberals and everything, and it's just like, people, you have to understand something. The American public did not make this situation happen. Okay? The people that have made it happen are the political leaders that we keep electing in. And this is something that, it's got to stop. We can no longer sit there and keep electing these officials that want to sit there and keep lying to us and telling us that, oh, this person is right, this person is wrong. No. We have to start getting people in there that are Americans, not politicians, not Democrats, not Republicans, but they have to be true Americans. People that will work for the American Constitution, the people that still believe in the American Constitution, people that still sit there and have the right to say that they gave blood, sweat, and tears for our Constitution and for the people of the United States to be able to go in there and say, hey, look, we're an Americans, and being that we're here, we're Americans. We deserve the right to have the American dream, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, guess what? It's not that no more, folks. It's this: life, socialism, and you'll be damn good if you can sit there and make something happen. Yeah, a lot of people say, well, you can go do this, you can go do that. And, a lot of things, people don't understand the circumstances. They don't understand the mental abuse, the physical abuse, the stress levels, and the stuff that people deal with on a day-to-day basis, not knowing whether or not you're going to be able to feed your family one day, or is your job stable anymore, or do you have to go from a good high-paying job down to something that's barely minimum wage? It's all because of, guess what? It's not the American people. It's because of our political ways that the American people vote. So, and actually, I have to recant that last part about it's not the American people, because in actuality, it is the American people. Because we keep voting for these people. And the biggest thing that I keep hearing is, well, we got to pick the lesser of the two evils. No. You know something? Our last election, we had 14 people that ran for office. Instead of saying check mark for Obama or check mark for Romney, you could have checked anybody else. I would really like to sit there and see what would happen for one time if everybody in the United States united and checked for a third party president to sit there and go in there and do it. Because you know something? I bet he wouldn't still be able to get elected, because I would say that the machines are probably fixed. And it's just, it really bothers me on a lot of issues here. I mean, we've got gun control. And we use kids as shields. Granted, what happened in Newtown was a tragedy. And I sympathize with everybody there. But also at the same time, nobody's touched an issue on mental health. They haven't touched the issue on, let's see, out of the past, past 3 major shootings, that they're mental health issues. But yet you want to bring it to the forefront and sit there and say that, oh, it's the guns. It's all these damned assault weapons. They're out there. They're killing us. You don't need 10 bullets to sit there and shoot a deer. Well, you know something? We don't need liars in government, but we've got them. That's because you clowns have jobs that we as Americans keep electing. So I'm going to keep on preaching for the next year or two that, hey, in Florida in 2014, it's time for your governor race. It's time for your city councils, your mayors, and all that kind of stuff. And you know something? I'm going to challenge everybody. If you got the cojones to get up and do something and make that change, run for office. Run as an independent. Run as the American Party. Let's see how many of you got the gonads. I mean, hey, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to give it a shot. I figure, why the hell not? I mean, everybody else can go in there and screw stuff up really good. You know, at least this way I can sit there and try and make a good, something good happen. All these so-called corporate guys that want to sit there and do these wonderful little deals of, well, hey, man, you scratch my back and the lobbyist will scratch yours. You know something? I would love to be the governor of the state of Florida. Actually, I tell you the truth, I'd really love to be the president of the United States. And, you know, it's just, and a lot of people sit there and laugh and they say, well, you know, you didn't go to Harvard. You didn't go to Yale. You didn't go all these big colleges to learn anything. Well, no, I didn't. But I'm willing to gamble that I learned enough about the American people that you don't sit there and kick them when they're down. You don't tax them without representation. You don't sit there and make them pay more and more and more. You don't force health care on top of them and make them pay. If they don't pay, then they're going to get hit by IRS. You know, and the biggest thing is that I wouldn't even do a slander campaign. I would sit there and pull up the records of everything that was voted on, how much money they raised, and where the money came from. And then if you people would have looked into that, you would have sit there and seen that, guess what? Corporate America owns politicians. We don't. So for all of you out there that want to sit there and make a difference, get on your laptops, get on your desktops, get on something that you can sit there and you can look up the email addresses, the phone numbers to the White House, to your capitals, to your local politicians, and start raising hell with them. I don't mean go up there and cuss them and act like a fool and be belligerent to them. You know, respect the office, but you don't necessarily have to respect the person. But you know something? Unfortunately, they're still human beings. So talk to them in a proper manner to where you can sit there and make a difference with them. Show them that, hey, we need reform. We need care. We need something that's going to sit there and make a difference. People, we're supposed to be a number one superpower. America is not. Our dollar values are devaluing quickly. And for all of you that get a paycheck out there, how's that hope and change working for you, huh? I bet you hope you had more change in your paycheck. All those wonderful things that, oh, this person did this for me and that person did that for me and I'd vote for him again. Well, you know something? Go ahead. Because when your kids and your grandkids are sitting there struggling their asses off to try and make a living just to be able to survive, you keep remembering, oh, they wasn't that bad. Because you know something? You didn't even look up to see who they were. All you could sit there and say was, oh, man, these people made all these promises. They told me they were going to do this. Remember this one? Read my lips. No new taxes. 7 days later, that asshole went in there and gave the biggest tax hike across America. How about this one? I'm not a crook. He was the first president to get impeached. Of course, then again, my theory, strictly my theory, what was the reasoning for him to be impeached? I think it was mainly because he was getting ready to sit there and let the cat out of the bag of who really assassinating JFK. And so guess what? It's called Watergate. So, but that's strictly my belief. People can sit there and say, you're a conspiracy theorist. You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. Well, guess what, people? I may be wrong. But what if I'm right? You know how many times, and I mean, seriously, think about this. How many times have we sit there and heard politicians tell us time after time after time, I'm for the American people. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. When you get up in the morning, you're going to have boatloads of money waiting for you at your front door. You're going to get these 10 million jobs and everything's going to work better for you. And you're not going to have to struggle no more. Well, guess what? You're struggling your ass off right now because you don't know where your next meal's coming from. That safeguard you used to have that was a bank account, the banks don't even do nothing for you because their percentage on their interest rates suck. But yet, if you go in there and give them your money and you take a loan, they hit you at 6, 8, 10, 12, 20%. Ain't that a deal? We actually give these companies our money to be ripped off. That's the best scam in the world. I mean, really, think about it. People, if you want to make a difference, let me tell you how we make a difference. Take your money out of your bank, put it in your house, buy a safe, buy a gun, and keep it there. And that way, all this wonderful interest that all these banks are sitting there burning up and the CEOs with their golden parachutes and their millions of dollars and all this stuff, let's see how they like it. Let's see how they like it, how fast their economy crashes. And you know something? It won't be able to give a bailout because if you don't have the money in the banks for them to transfer around to do other things to help the other banks and everything, they can't be bailed out. The government can sit there and write them all the money that they want to. It won't help them. So what do? I asked all the Americans out here, what do? Are you guys fed up with the economy? I know I damn sure enough am. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm sitting there running my chops and giving you my opinion. I am sick and tired of hearing about Democrats are going to help you do this. Republicans are going to help you do that. People, you have to look at what was voted on. You have to see what these people are. You have to see who these people are. For real. I mean, they just sit there and got voted to where they can do basically legal inside trading. And you wonder how a politician can go into an office making $140,000, $160,000 a year, do a 4-8 year term, and come out $25-30 million richer. Because they're getting told, hey, here you go. This company's fixing to make a whole lot of money because, we're helping you out to get you moved up in a higher position. But, there's going to come a time that we're going to need a tax break from you, man. So if we help you out with this little stock tip over here and, once we get you into a position that we need you to be in, you'll help us out. Yep. I'd be more than happy to. Hey, you just let me win the lotto. So it doesn't matter, So what if you step on the American people and kick them down and run over them? They're resilient. They'll get back up, throw them a bone and they're happy. Well, you know something, people? I think we as Americans need to sit there and wake up and feel that, hey, I'm tired of getting bones thrown. I'm tired of the political realm of things that it's a joke to all these people. And I give hats off to the NRA. Definitely hats off to them. I love the ad that they had because they're dead nuts on the money. You want to talk about a hypocritical president? There you go. Watch their ad. It tells you exactly what should be taken care of about gun control. I mean, hey, if the president's daughters can have 24/7 security, why can't we put security in schools? instead of sitting there saying, oh, well, we're going to take all your guns away. And if you don't have no guns, we won't have no criminals. And the whole thing about it wasn't even about that. It's actually aggravating. And I know I go in all different directions and everything. But see, the good thing about it is there's so many different directions that you can go in, which you shouldn't be able to go in. I mean, I got an article for Social Security. It's the 7 new Social Security rules for 2013. So, and here, I'll even read it to you. Got to put these glasses on so I can see that old age catching up with me. Social Security Administration has implemented a variety of new rules and features for 2013. The 2-year payroll tax cut has officially ended, and paper Social Security checks will soon cease to be printed. A growing number of Social Security services will also be online this year. Here's a look at some of the recent Social Security changes that go into effect this year. Payroll tax cut ends. The temporary payroll tax cut was allowed to expire at the end of 2012. Workers who paid 4.2% of their income into the Social Security system in 2011 and 2012 will now resume contributing 6.2% of their earnings in 2013, up to the payroll tax cap of $113,700. Pretty interesting, huh? Oh, but we're taking taxes down. We're going to help the middle class. Here we go. Higher payroll tax cap. The payroll tax cap increased by $3,600 from $110,100 in 2012 to $113,700 in 2013. Workers who earn more than this threshold don't need to pay Social Security taxes on that income. Now, you know something? I thought this whole tax thing was to sit there and get the people that were making over so much money to where they were supposed to do their fair share. And right here it sits there and says over $113,000, they don't need to pay Social Security on that income. There's 2 lies. More online services. A trip to the Social Security office is no longer necessary to start your Social Security payments. A growing numbers of retirees are claiming Social Security payments online, largely thanks to an advertised campaign starring actors Patty Duke and George Takei. For the first time in 2012, workers could access their Social Security statements online, including their complete earnings history and expected payments, and about 3 million people have already done so. In early 2013, Social Security added online services, including the ability to access a benefit verification letter and payment history. Retirees can also change their address and start or change direct deposit information online. The ability to do this online, it will be a real convenience for the people who are required to have these benefit verification letters, says Social Security Commissioner Michael Estrue. It is going to allow us to focus on the kind of conversations that we really do need to have face to face. It's all going online. It's all going to be computer generated. So, and this clown sits there and says, it's really going to let us focus on the kind of conversations that we need to have face to face. Really? Let's see. It's going to be like, I'm going to dial up and they're going to say, press 1 for English. Press 2 for Espanol, blah, 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 blah. And then it's going to be, if you need a card, if it's been lost or stolen, press 3. If you need help with doing this, press 4. If you need to talk to an attendant, press 1. So I can see that one coming already. So, and it really just it's ridiculous. So now we've got reduced office hours. Oh, ain't this nice? So yeah, so all you retirees that like to sleep in the morning, and by the time you get up and get moving around during the afternoon, it's going to be too late to do anything. Social Security offices, there are reducing the hours that they are open to the public to save money and avoid paying overtime to workers. Ain't that a joke? Social Security locations nationwide have been closing 30 minutes early each day since November 19th, 2012, and they began closing to the public at noon every Wednesday on January 2nd, 2013. Yeah, boy, that made a heck of a thing there. I mean, that really helped boost the money back into the national debt. So, unbelievable. I bet you if Washington would have sit there and cut that 28% raise that they got last year, that maybe that would have been a nice boost. Paper checks will end. On March 1st, 2013, the Treasury Department will stop mailing paper checks to Social Security recipients. Retirees will be required to choose to have their Social Security payments either directly deposited into a bank or credit union account or loaded onto a prepaid Direct Express debit MasterCard. If you already have a bank account or credit union account, we encourage you, and it's our preference that you sign up for direct deposit, says Walt Henderson, Director of the Electronic Fund Transfer Strategy Division at the Treasury Department. The debit card is primarily for unbanked benefit recipients. We don't want people who already have a bank account to feel that they have to get the debit card. New Social Security beneficiaries have been required to choose an electronic payment option since May 2011, and approximately 93% of Social Security and Supplemental Security Income, SSI, payments are already being made electronically. But hey, here we go. We got higher earning limits. People between ages 62 and 66 who work and collect Social Security benefits at the same time might have part or all of their Social Security benefit temporarily withheld. Workers between ages 62 and 65 can earn up to $15,120 in 2013, after which $1 in benefits will be withheld for every $2 of income above the earning limit. Let me do that again here. See if you people caught this one. Workers between ages 62 and 65 can earn up to $15,120 in 2013, after which $1 in benefits will be withheld for every $2 of income above the earnings limit. People, that's a 50%. $50 is going to be withheld. If you go get a job as Walmart being a greeter and you make an extra $200 a week after you get your $15,120 in earnings, you're going to lose half your money. I mean, if I'm wrong and somebody knows something different, hey, call me up, 727-493-2055. Unbelievable. People who turn 66 this year can earn up to $40,080, and then $1 of benefits will be withheld for every $3 earned above the limit. However, once you turn age 66, the earning limits no longer applies. Well, isn't that nice? What they're trying to do is make you go ahead and wait until you're 66 to get your money. And benefits may be recalculated at age 66 to reflect the withheld benefits and continued earnings. Unbelievable. Bigger payments. Social Security beneficiaries begin receiving payments that were 1.7% larger in January 2013. Holy cow. People, you can actually go buy a fish sandwich at McDonald's now. Isn't that something? You'll be able to buy one fish sandwich at McDonald's once a month. Because here you go. The average monthly Social Security benefit in January increased from $1,240 to $1,261 as a result of a cost of living adjustment. Really? Social Security gave them a $21 raise. But yet our government employees up there did a 28% raise. Unbelievable. And people wonder why. You know something? I got a lot of respect for our elderly out there. And a lot of people don't sit there and take it to heed, and they don't sit there and treat them right. There's a lot of elderly abuse and stuff that goes on. You know, people, you need to wake up and smell the coffee, because of those elderly people, our grandmothers, grandfathers, you know, those people that sit there and fought in these world wars, Korea, Vietnam, and all of that, all relatives and older people. They sit there and they fought with their lives to give up, you know, the most sacrificial thing that you could ever give to a country is your life. They gave it all to make a better life and a better living for the people here in the United States. Our government officials will sit there and take a 28% raise, and they all decide to give Social Security recipients $21 extra a month. You know something? That really pisses me off. You know, I think they need to go in there, and this is how we can solve the whole problem. People, I think we need to go in there and start writing letters. Let's start a petition up and get it going. And let's start sending it to all these wonderful politicians that we need to make sure that they have term limits. We need to make sure that all their benefits stop after their term limits. That way they have to go out there and they have to scramble and get benefits. They have to go out there and worry about, oh man, did I make enough money to put in a 401k plan to go do something else? No more of this collect your pay for the rest of your life in a pension plan after 8 years, because no. I mean, even in the NFL, after you do 13 years, you get to collect a mandatory minimum payment. So, and it's just like, this is ridiculous. I mean, we sit here and we worry about issues that, you know, are ridiculous. Gay rights. You know something? I'll be straight up and honest with you. I don't give a rat's ass about gay rights. You know something? If two women want to sit there and get married, more power to them. If two guys want to get married, more power to them too. I don't care. If I don't like it, I go away from it. Just that simple. And this is the problem that we have in America. But we're more apt to worry about gay marriages and gay rights than we are worrying about our nation's economy. Well, I tell you what, and I'll put it out there. I'll even say it straight up. Hey, Obama, you decided you want to sit there and put those kids up on stage for the world to see, so that way you can make a point and go in there and get you, try and do your executive order on gun laws. What's next? You're going to put a bunch of gay people behind you and sit there and say, well, you know, all these people are happy. Why should you deny them? I think, why don't you sit there and do this? Why don't you put about 5 million pissed off Americans right there on the White House lawn and have them sit there and say, you know something? Enough's enough. We want change. And there is no hope, because we will get change. And that's the way it needs to be. You want to see hope and change? That's right. American people, you still have a very little bit of hope. But it's us that has to make the change. I mean, I could sit here and read a ton of articles and sit there and say everything, you know, what's in the news today. But hey, people, you know something? You can go on the internet and you can find this stuff yourself as well. It's just that simple. I mean, heck, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at an ABC News brief on Yahoo News, and it's about North Korea. And you know something? Guess what? These guys are going to test a nuclear rocket again, third time. So, you know something? Unbelievable. Is the UN going to step in and say something? No. Is Obama going to go in there and say something? No. I mean, this is ridiculous. And then what's really funny, they got one of the captions that says, Bill Richardson recaps successful trip to North Korea. Well, if it's so successful, why'd they firing off a new nuclear weapon? Look at the damage that the tsunami did in Japan. You know, a lot of people didn't really find out too much about it, and they're still saying that that was one of the worst nuclear accidents, worse than in Chernobyl in Russia. But yet the media didn't cover it that way. There's people that there's damage over 200 miles around that area. A lot of radioactive waste and stuff that cracked the core. And actually, that place, if I ain't mistaken, is supposed to be pretty much shut down. I believe it's the Americans that we're going over there to fix it for them. So it has to be in a situation to where we, as Americans, we have to unite. We can no longer be Democrats or Republicans or liberals or left wing or right wing or, you know, anything else. I vote for that, the fact that we sit there and become Americans. Wouldn't that be something, huh? You know, anybody ever sit there and seen the movie as V for Vendetta? It actually was a pretty good movie. I mean, it really was. It has a lot of implications of actually what could happen to a country and what you could do about it. Now, I'm not saying go out there and blow everything up and kill everybody. I mean, it was just a movie. It was meant for show. But to me, the message would be pretty plain and simple. There comes a point in time to where when government is too powerful and is overthrowing the people themselves, that the people need to sit there and make a stance. They need to stand up. They need to believe in what they're going to say, and they need to make things happen. You know, we can no longer sit there and say, well, you know, we'll worry about it next time. No, we can't. We have to worry about it this time. Because there's a lot of problems right now. And for those of you people that really don't think we have a whole lot of major problems, well, let me tell you something. We do have a lot of problems. You know, there's already been, said that with rumors on certain things that, you know, hurry up, America, lose your guns. Because the faster you lose a gun, the faster terrorist organizations come in here and start taking over because they've got nobody to fight them. You know, and which is terrible. So, you know, and it makes me laugh. It really does. Because, you know, you sit there and see so many people that want to be this, they want to be that, they want to be a part of something, this and that, and it's just ridiculous. And it's just, you know, it can't be like that anymore. It's more and more the fact that we have to make something happen. We have to have our voice heard. And it has to be done. So, I mean, I'm looking at another article here. Obama's big 3 campaign deals that he's going to sit there and work on for the next 4 years. Gun control, gay marriage, and immigration reform. Really? I mean, this is what, you know, that's your big 3. I would think the American economy, bringing our nation back up to a superpower, import exporting, let's pay the bill off to China so that way we don't owe them nothing anymore. Because it's ridiculous. And let's see. Quit sending money to overseas countries that don't do nothing for us. Because it's actually, it makes me laugh. It really does. Because here we are, we sit there and we've watched all these videos and we've watched all this other stuff. I mean, even in Florida, we've got Rick Scott to put his mama on the damn TV about him running for governor. Oh, my son's a good guy. Well, no, not really. None of them were. But once again, it was the lesser of the two evils. So, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous, the lies that our government continuously tells us. And it's just, I don't get it. So, unbelievable. So, but it's definitely one of those things where we're going to have to sit there and definitely we got to make a change. So, yeah. Here's another article that I ran across that female veterans react to the Pentagon's new rule. Well, guess what? Now the women get to go in combat side by side the men. You know something? I'm sorry, folks. I'm not sitting there being, against women on the front line. Is it a good rule? I don't know. I'm not in the military. I think it's something that, it should have been brought about where the military should themselves been able to go in there and take care of that and find out. So, but one of the biggest things that I've been trying to find is actually our good lady there, Hillary Clinton. Because I wanted to see her and her remarks on the Benghazi trial. And, it makes me really skeptical. I can't talk. Because of the simple fact that you sit there and here's 4 people that lost their lives. And I mean, and it's a sad situation. But why did they lose their lives? These people had a secondary deal set up to where if anything ever happened, they had a safe house that they could go to. How is it possible that this safe house was already known by the terrorists and they beat him there? These people died. Then for Hillary Clinton to go on there and sit there and say in front of Congress and stuff and say, well, something, I'm upset about this as much as possible. I didn't have the information that was said to say anything about this. I didn't know that this was going to happen. But yet you were one of the people that sit there and said that, well, there was a video that came out and this has sparked this whole entire thing. So, and where's old Susan Rice at? You notice you don't hear much about her anymore. So, yeah, they pretty much done canned her and stuck her underneath the rug there. So, and it's really interesting to see that this is the kind of stuff that we have to deal with. Because here we go. My 2 famous words of the shows in the past: accountability and responsibility. Pretty much the same. But, there's no accountability or responsibility for our government. Because you've got 4 dead Americans. Should it have happened? No. Should you have sit there and try and cover it up with a video and saying that it was against the Muslim religion, to where you sit there and you caused more damage to other military people? Because if I ain't mistaken, military people died because of that. I think there was 2 or 3 people that were killed as, the Muslim world retaliated. Or I don't know if I shouldn't say Muslim world, but I mean, I would say that the terrorists, that, they retaliated on it, and, this was the problem. So, this is something that, really needs to be set up and seen through a whole different situation. Because Americans need to really take a good look, and they need to start realizing that these are the kind of things that we shouldn't be having in government. These hearings should be sitting there saying, okay, well, hey, the bottom line is this. Who's the responsible one, and where does the accountability fall? Well, personally, it starts at Susan Rice. Then it goes to Hillary Clinton. And then it only goes to one other person, Barack Hussein Obama. Because if you're the commander-in-chief, in reality, you're the one responsible for calling the shots. Because each and every media event that goes out of there is always approved before it leaves the White House. So if Susan Rice didn't approve it, or Hillary didn't approve it, and Obama didn't approve it, then they need to find out who approved it about the video, and that's the person that needs to be put in jail. But you know something? It still has to have the approval by the president. And it's pretty sad, folks. It really is. We got government that sits there and pulls scams on us all the time. So, I mean, look at 9/11. Welcome to the Patriot Act. Look at this school shooting. Now they're trying to knock our guns out. How much more do we as Americans deal with? So it's definitely one of those things that really needs to be checked out. And people, you really need to do your due diligence and start looking into these people. Start finding out. Go online. Send an email. Make a phone call. Send a fax. Let these people know that, hey, Americans, we're all pissed off. We want our country back. We don't want it back from foreign adversaries. We want it back from the domestic adversaries. So my best advice is take your money out of the banks. Let's do a run on the banks. You want to see corporate America shut down real quick? Do that. Let the government go in there and bail them out then. Should be pretty interesting to see. But definitely. So we're running down on the last 2 minutes there. So anybody's got anything, you're more than welcome to send an email in. So, but other than that, we'll definitely catch you here another week from today. And if you got any questions, hell, save them, write them down, call in. Let me know what your gripe is. So let's see what we can do. Let's be Americans helping Americans. So other than that, everybody, you guys can take care. Have another great week. And let's all be safe out there. Let's be Americans helping Americans. Let the politicians bury their own selves. They seem to be doing a pretty good job as it is. So other than that, same time, same channel next week, and we will catch everybody then. So everybody.
No matter how far, to fight for the right, without question or pause, to be willing to